Shalom, and welcome back to part 2 of the 144,000 first fruits of Yahawah. I am Hadassah Bathaiwan, and it's my pleasure and honor to bring this study to you to help you to understand who the 144,000 saints really are, because of the false teachings that are out there leading our people astray, leading them into deception. When you go through these lessons with me, you will see clearly by the scriptures, not by my words. No. You will see by the scriptures. Let the Most High speak for himself. You will see who these 144,000 saints, 12,000 of each of the 12 tribes, no other nation, no other people. You're going to see them for who they really are and what they will be doing. Nothing like what the camps, the Hebrew camps, are telling you. Nothing like what you're hearing from other nations telling you. Not even your pastor has it correct. And I know. Some of them don't even want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. That's good. Stay away from something that you don't understand. But the Father already warned us that there are going to be people that will be delving into areas, mysteries that they don't belong, or they have no right interfering. They have no right to try to explain or teach these things. It is a higher learning. You see, this is the reason why Hamashiach, when he was walking on the earth, he spoke in parables for a reason. Yes, he did. He didn't speak plainly for everyone to hear, to see, to know, to understand. No, he did not. He spoke in parables. But when he was with his disciples, and they asked him, please, Padawan, explain to us what you meant, then he will explain it to them. Because he said, with ears you will hear what the Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, is saying. And with eyes you will see. He said, but heaven forbid, and I'm paraphrasing here, if you should see with your eyes and hear with your ears and perceive with your heart, then you'll be converted and I will have to forgive you and you will be saved. But he said, those that don't have eyes to see and ears to hear, that is intentional, because those people he's not interested in. They have the wool pulled over their eyes and their ears, and their hearts are hardened and calloused, so they cannot understand, neither can they perceive, and the Father will not be explaining things to them. So they go around from one teacher to another, and they glean from there and they glean from here, and they put their own little tidbit together with these gleanings, and they come up with their lesson, their theory. But when the Ruach HaKodesh is working with you, when he is teaching you, You will see things that you normally would not have seen if he was not there showing you. And you will hear. And you will understand spiritual things. You see, you cannot, as a natural man or a woman, understand spiritual things. It's impossible. We are natural people. But when the Ruach HaKodesh has filled us, and we're walking that straight and narrow path, and he begins to teach us, then we become transformed and remove out of the natural level into the spiritual level. Now you are ready to be taught. Now you're ready to understand. You're in the right place, because you cannot understand spiritual things until you are spiritual. And I'm not talking about being religious. I'm talking about you stepping out of this skin, this flesh. The devil has control over the flesh. He's the one who manipulates you with lust and all manner of fleshly desires. When you can bring your flesh under submission to the Ruach HaKodesh, now your spirit man can rise up and take his place. Now the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, can teach you. You're now thinking spiritually. And because you're in that spiritual realm with him, now he can infuse you with more of his mysteries, his spiritual lessons. These are spiritual lessons that your natural mind cannot grasp. So that's why you gravitate towards people that can give you something that you can sink your teeth into. You can bite into. That's natural. So anything that appeals to your flesh is natural, cannot be spiritual. So these lessons, and not just this one, all of the work that I've put together, and not me, I'm under the influence of the Ruach HaKodesh. He's the one who's guiding me and leading me and teaching me. This is higher learning. Higher learning. You have to be in a special place spiritually. You got to step out of your flesh in order to grasp these spiritual precepts. In order to gain understanding and have that moment. This is going to be one of the most difficult lessons for people to understand, because it has not been taught before. And only those with eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart that is circumcised, and because it's made of flesh, and a heart to perceive. Your heart now can perceive, and now you can understand. You will understand. Praises to the Most High. So let's get on with the lesson. And we're going to start with a question. And the question was, is it a shift or a prophecy, a future prophecy? So let us see what that shift was if it really was a shift. So let's look at Bamadabar, Book of Numbers, chapter 3, verse 11 to 13. And Yahawah spoke unto Masha, saying, And I, behold, have taken Lawai from among the children of Yashrael, instead of all the firstborn that opens the womb among the children of Yashrael. Therefore, Lawai shall be mine. Verse 13. Because all the firstborn are mine. He's still saying the firstborn are his. For on the day that I smote all the firstborn in the land of Matzorayim, I hallowed unto me all the firstborn in Yashrael, both man and beast. Mine they shall be. So he's not saying, I'm completely changing my mind about the firstborn males. Because on one hand, he's saying, Lawai, the tribe of Levi, they're mine. I'm going to use them instead of the firstborn that opens the womb. He's going to use them instead. All right? But on the other hand, verse 13, all firstborn belong to him. Because of what he did for the children of Yashrael, all 12 tribes, when they were in Matzorayim, when he passed over the land and smite all the firstborn of Matzorayim, which is Egypt, but saved all the firstborn of Yashrael. That's a debt. And the debt needs to be paid. That's why he said he has hallowed all the firstborn males of man and beast unto himself. But that was in slide 1. Now in slide 2, he's saying, I'm going to take the tribe of Lawai from amongst the children of Yashrael instead of the firstborn males. And what is he going to do with the tribe of Lawai? Let's read on. It's going to become clear. Don't worry. It will become absolutely clear what the plan of Elohim has been since the beginning of creation. He had put this plan together before he created the whole world and everything in it. Okay, so wait 1 minute. Yahawah said at least 3 times that the firstborn males were to be redeemed to him and appear before him to bring an offering in the place that he was going to choose. He said that. Yet in this verse, it seemed like he had reversed this idea. But did he reverse what he said? He had taken the tribe of Levi to be priest and high priest from among the children of Yashrael. This further confirms that the firstborn males, firstborn from the womb of Yashrael, were going to be acting in a priestly capacity when they presented themselves before Yahawah with their offerings. That proves that they were being selected to be his priesthood. Did Yahawah change his mind about the firstborn males that were to be redeemed? Yet he repeated in verse 13, after he said what he said about Levi, he's going to use them instead of the firstborn males. He repeated in verse 13 that all the firstborn are his, and recounted what he did in Matzorayim, and he hallowed or made holy all the firstborn in Yashrael. So let's read that verse again. 13. Because all the firstborn are mine. For on the day that I smote all the firstborn in the land of Matzorayim, I hallowed unto me all the firstborn in Yashrael, both man and beast, shall be mine. Mine shall they be. I am Yahawah. So let us look at some scriptures that will help us to see the nature of Yahawah. He does not change. He's constant. All right. Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. For I am Yahawah. I change not. He doesn't change. He doesn't change his mind about anything. Every single word that comes from his mouth is performed. Yahawah, which is Isaiah 55, chapter 55, verse 11. So shall my word be that goes forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper whereto I sent it. Whenever he speaks his word, that's prophecy. And it will fulfill whatever purpose he sends it forth to perform. Must happen that way because he is Yahawah. Every word that goes forth out of the mouth of Yahawah must be accomplished. His word is sure and steadfast, and it will not return to him void. He cannot lie, and he does not change. Therefore, when he spoke to Masha and the children of Yashrael to set apart the firstborn males, to sanctify them, to be redeemed, he was not mistaken. He said it too many times for it to be a mistake. He did not change his mind either, because he repeated the fact that all firstborn males are his, even after declaring that he would appoint the tribe of Levi in their stead. When he took the tribe of Levi to be his priests and high priests, there can be only one consideration for this to happen. So it wasn't a shift or a change of mind. He does not change his mind. He does not say something and then it doesn't happen. There's only one consideration for this to happen. To be redeemed. Righteous, sinless generation. Food for thought. But I will be answering that question, if not in this lesson, certainly by the third lesson. Not one single word of Yahawah is ever misspoken. Every word of his is deliberate, and it fulfills his purposes and his plans. Yahawah knew that that particular generation that left Matzarayim was going to be a rebellious people. Just read the Torah, the Yahawah, for yourself, and you'll see. Or you just read the book of Shamawath, Exodus, you'll see how rebellious our forefathers were. In fact, read the whole Bible, and you'll see how rebellious our people have been throughout the ages. Yahawah knew that that particular generation that left Matzarayim was going to be a rebellious people. And he knew that their generations after were going to be just as rebellious, if not worse. And I believe we are worse because we have the information and we have the Ruach HaKodesh, and yet we don't want to change. Yet we do not want to change. Yet we do not want to submit to Yahawah. We don't want to obey his laws and his commandments. We don't want to walk in his ways. We still want to walk in the ways of the Gentiles who hate us. The Gentiles hate us, and we still want to walk after them. We've been persecuted for generations, and we still want to walk after them and their gods. That's why I say with confidence that we are the worst generation compared to our forefathers in the wilderness. They didn't have the Ruach HaKodesh. They just received the laws. But we've had generations of generations to peruse the laws, to study the laws. And then Hamashiach came and walked the earth to pave the way for us to find our way back to the Father through him. And we still want to deny everything that he has done for us. So we are the worst generation. But out of the worst will come the best. So we're not all lost here. We're not all bad. We're not all wicked. Because there will be a remnant that will say, enough is enough. We don't want to do this anymore. Everything that my forefathers have done, everything that I see my brethren out there doing, I am going to turn away from that and return to my Father. Return to the Word. Everyone out there, they have their own interpretation of the Word of the Most High. Doctrines of men and devils. Misleading the people, allowing them to do whatever their minds bid them to do. Breaking the covenant, breaking his laws and his commandments. It's all right. You have grace. Grace covers you. Enough is enough. There are at least a few of us out there that is saying enough is enough. I don't want to worship Jesus Christ anymore. I don't want to worship Lord God anymore. I want to worship my Father who is in heaven, who has a Oberai name, not even a Hebrew name, an Oberai name, which is our language. And until I find what that name is, I'm just going to call him Father or Abba or Yah. Nothing else. I'm tired calling on the names of pagan gods that these wretched beings that had us in captivity, they've trained us up, brainwashed us into believing that they are our gods. I'm tired of it. I'm putting away all their festivities too. This Christmas and Easter and all these different Valentine's Day, all these pagan festivities. I want nothing to do with them. There is a generation that is tired. Because we've been under this evil, this curse for so long. And we are tired. We are at the point of completely melting like a pat of butter in the desert. Done. We're done. We've tried everything, all these different so-called religions. Not all, but I'm talking about the church, like Pentecostal, evangelical, all the different ones we've tried. Messianic even. Hey, they're practicing Judaism, but Jesus Christ is their Savior. They're still on the deception. I've tried that too. I tried calling him Yeshua. That's not his name. And when you become dissatisfied with what you've been handed for generations or even recently, that doesn't really sit well with you, that's the Spirit urging you, prodding you to ask a question. And what is that question? Father, tell me the truth. What is the truth? I want to know the truth. Can you please tell me the truth? Can you please lead me to the truth? That's all he's waiting for, you know. And he's going to start by giving you a little bit at a time to get you used to the truth. Because like I said, I've said it before, and I will keep saying it. The truth is a bitter pill. And it is also an inconvenience, because when he starts teaching you the truth, you're going to have to start making some changes in your life. If you're shacking up with a man or a woman, and I'm talking about opposite genders here, if you're shacking up, you're going to have to break that off and move out. Somebody's got to move out. You got to stop fornicating. You're going to have to stop committing adultery. You're going to have to stop eating unclean foods like the pork, the pig, shellfish. You're going to have to make some serious changes in your life. And not many people want that, because some people, they love their shellfish. They like their lobster and their crab and their shrimp. They love that stuff. Doesn't matter that they're garbage collectors of the sea. Oh, no, I don't care about that stuff. It comes out of the sea, so it must be good. Anything that comes out of the sea is good. That's what a certain religion believes. Not the Christians. I'm talking about another religion. They believe anything that comes out of the sea is good, because their God put it in there for them to eat. All these things, you're going to have to start making some serious changes in your lifestyle. And that's why I say the truth is a bitter pill to swallow, and it is an inconvenience to your life. But if you love Yahawah with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, and with all your strength, it doesn't matter if it's a bitter pill to swallow. You will say, Father, give me more. It wouldn't matter if it's an inconvenience to your life. You will say, Father, bring it on. I want changes in my life. But until you get to that point, he's not going to do anything. He has given us everything we need in order to be redeemed to him and to find our path to him. Now the rest is up to us. Okay, let's move on. The tribe of Levi was chosen long before their forefather Levi, and I'm going to go slowly, okay? The tribe of Levi was chosen long before their father Levi, and I'm speaking of the tribe of Levi, or Levi. Before their forefathers Levi was born to fulfill the duty of priesthood, and they knew this. They always knew that they were going to be the priesthood. Levi himself knew that he was going to be the father of the tribe that will be a priesthood. He knew this, and I'm going to prove it to you. Don't worry. They had always been a tribe set apart from the other tribes, even in Goshen. They've always been set apart. They've always been exclusive. This was also prophecy spoken by Yatzachak and Yaochab. So both these forefathers prophesied over Levi. Let's go to Oberai, which is the book of Hebrews, chapter 7, verse 4. Now consider how great this man was. And we're talking about Malachat Sadak. You call him Melchizedek. All right. Unto whom even the patriarch Abraham gave the 10th of the spoils. Now this was the time when Abraham went to rescue Lot and his family, when they were taken by the 5 kings. Do you remember that story? Verse 5. And verily, if I said verse 10 before, it is actually verse 4 to 10. So the verse that I read before was verse 4, And now I'm going to read verse 5. And verily they that are of the sons of Lewi, who received the office of the priesthood, have a commandment to take tithes of the people according to the law, that is, of their brethren, though they come out of the loins of Abraham. But he whose descent is not counted from them received tithes of Abraham and blessed him that had the promises. Now, many people are going to tell you that Melchizedek, is Hamashiach. You see, this will take you into another lesson that I have about Melchizedek, the Melchizedek. And for me to explain this mystery about Melchizedek will take you into another lesson. But allow me to say this. Yes, Hamashiach became the high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek, but the person here where Abraham was giving him tithes of the spoils was not Hamashiach. It was actually Shem. Shem was the first Melchizedek. The Melchizedek is a title, an office. Okay? It is an office. That's all it is, an office. And that's why it said here in verse 6, but he whose descent is not counted from them, meaning from the offspring of Abraham, because Shem was way before Abraham. Shem was the firstborn son of Noah. And they also, Noah and Shem, they had an influence in Abraham. They raised Abraham when he was a young boy. But that's going into another lesson, which is about Melchizedek. And all you need to understand, this was not Hamashiach. It was not. There's plenty of proof to prove this. But Hamashiach became Melchizedek after the order of Melchizedek because he fulfilled that title, that office. It's an office. But Shem was the first, and then Hamashiach came and fulfilled it, and he is still Melchizedek, King of righteousness. All right, let's move on. And here men that died, verse 8, received tithes, but there he had received them, of whom it is witnessed that he lives. And as I may so say, Lewi also, who received tithes, remember he received tithes from the tribe, the other 11 tribes of Yashrael, paid tithes in Abraham. For he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him. So when Abraham paid tithes to Melchizedek, the tribe of Lewi, why did you say Levi? It is Levi. The tribe of Lewi paid their tithes because they were still in the loins of their forefather. All right? So, let's move on. Now we look at the book of Jubilees, Yahawah, chapter 31, verse 9. The darkness left the eyes of Yawachanan. I'm so sorry. And he saw the two sons. I was thinking of Malaka Sadak and Yatsachak. So the darkness left the eyes of Yatsachak, and he saw the two sons of Yaokab, Lawai and Yahawah. So this was a long time after Yaokab, he left his father's household because Osha, which is Esau, his twin brother, threatened him that he was going to kill him. And his mother, Rebecca, was afraid. So she sent him away to preserve him, because she said, you know what? Why should I be bereaved of both sons? Because, they're going to kill each other. So she said, to keep peace, you go and stay with my family. And Yaakov obeyed with the blessing of his father, Yatsachak, and went to stay with her brother Laban. And he married his two daughters, Leah and Rachel, and brought their two maids along. And he had his sons. Now he wants to come home. And he does come home because his parents are getting old. He wants to see his parents. So he left all his other sons behind. And this was given to him to take these two particular sons, Lawai and Yahawah. One is the priesthood, one is the king tribe. So let's go on from there. Still at verse 9. The darkness left the eyes of Yatsachak, and he saw the two sons of Yaokab, Lawai, and Yahawah. And he said, are these your sons, my son, because they look like you? So Yatsachak was blind. But because the Most High was going to use him to bless these two sons, who are going to be the forefathers of two very important tribes. Their importance is because of their purpose. All right? All the tribes are important, but they have two specific purposes laid out for these two tribes. Verse 10, he said to Yatsachak, they are truly my sons. And you have clearly seen that they are truly my sons. Yeah, you can see, Father. Wow. Right? Verse 11. They came near to him, and he turned and kissed them and embraced them both together. The spirit of prophecy came down into his mouth. And he took Lawai by his right hand and Yahawah by his left. Yahawah, by the way, is Judah. Verse 13. And he turned to Lawai first and began to bless him first, and said, may Allah Hayam of all, the very Yahawah of all ages, bless you and your children throughout all the ages. May Yahawah give to you and your offspring greatness and great glory from among all flesh. May Yahawah cause you and your offspring to draw near to him, to serve in his sanctuary, like the angels of the presence and as the holy ones. So right there, the Most High is speaking through Yatsachak to let Lawai know of his destiny. He was to become the priesthood. The offspring, and this all took place before they became enslaved in Mitzrayim. This was well before that. So he did not just, firstborn males from the womb belongs to me. Oh no, I changed my mind. I'm going to take Lawai instead. But still the firstborn. No, he already had a plan. The plan is right there. right? But there are little nuggets that you have to collect, little pieces of the puzzle that you have to collect to put the picture together. He already had in his mind from the foundation of the earth who he was going to choose as his 144,000 priests. But until they were ready, he's going to use the tribe of Levi, the tribe of Lewi, as his earthly priesthood. All right, let's move on, and it will become even clearer, okay? The offspring of your sons shall be, this is still verse 14. The offspring of your sons shall be for the glory and greatness and holiness of Yahawah. He makes them great throughout all the ages. And by the way, Yahawah means ascended glory. It is not Elohim. It is Yahawah. Ascended glory. That's who our Father and the Son and the Ruach HaKodesh is. They are all Yahawah. Okay. They shall be judges and princes and chiefs of all the offspring of the sons of Yaakov. They shall speak the word of Yahawah in righteousness, and they shall judge all his judgments in righteousness. And that was the role of the priesthood when they were in the wilderness and when they were in their land. To teach the precepts, to teach the laws, the commandments, the judgments, the statutes, and all the different rituals that they had to do. They had to keep bringing it to the forefront of the children of Yashar'al's brains about the law. They had to be the ones, they were the ones that taught the law to the children of Yashar'al. They were the ones who performed the duties in the sanctuary. No other tribe could have gone into the sanctuary except Lewi. And the high priest came from the tribe of Lewi as well. Verse 15, they shall declare my ways to Yaakov and my paths to Yashar'al. The blessing of Yahweh shall be given in their mouths to bless all the offspring of the beloved. They're the ones that spoke blessings over the lives of Yashar'al, over the other 11 tribes. Verse 16, your mother has called your name Lewi, and rightly has she called your name. You will be joined to Yahawah and be the companion of all the sons of Yaakov. And I have that highlighted because that came to pass. Remember, the northern kingdom, 9.5 tribes. The half tribe is Lewi. So they became the companions to the northern kingdom. The southern kingdom, 2.5 tribes. The half tribe is Lewi. They became companions to the southern kingdom. This is prophecy being shown to you that was fulfilled. Let his table be your table, and let your sons eat from it. May your table be full throughout all the generations, and let your food not fail in all the ages. And let all who hate you fall down before you, and let all your adversaries be rooted out and perish. Blessed be he that blesses you, and cursed be every nation that curses you. Now we're going to go to the book of Yashar, which is the book of Jasher, chapter 65, verse 31 to 34. The children of Yashar'al built Pithom and Ramses. Now, I even want to tell you that any other people built those structures in Matzarayim, Egypt, think again. Don't believe them. All the children of Yashar'al did the work, some making bricks and some building. And the children of Yashar'al built and fortified all the land of Matzarayim and its walls. The children of Yashar'al were engaged in work for many years, until the time came when Yahawah remember them and brought them out of Matzarayim. Verse 32. But the children of Lewi were not employed in the work with their brothers. No, they did not. They didn't lift one finger. Yashraal from the beginning to the day of their going forth from Matzarayim. They didn't do any work with their brothers. All right, verse 33. Let me read verse 32 again. But the children of Lewi were not employed in the work with their brothers, Yashraal, meaning the other 11 tribes, from the beginning to the day of their going forth from Matzarayim. So the background story, Matzarayim, after Yawachanan died, which is Joseph, after he died, and then the last patriarch, which was Lewi himself, he was the last to die of the brethren. When he died, there came a king of Pharaoh, who did not know of Yawachanan and what he did to save Matzarayim. And he looked at the children of Yashraal and thought, well, these people are more than us and mightier. Heaven forbid, if they go, well, he wouldn't have said that. But what if they go and join with our enemies? They will defeat us and drive us out of our land. So let us come together and try to figure out a way to bring these people under bondage. And the first thing that they said to do, or they thought to do, was to employ them along with a few of their own people. And gradually, they withdrew their people, then they stopped paying them, and then they had them enslaved to do the work. And that's why when Yashraal left Matzarayim, they went and pilfered the Egyptians. They went and pilfered Matzarayim because it was payment that was due that they never got for building all these structures. But the tribe of Lewi was not involved in any of the work. So verse 33, now that you have a little bit of the history, verse 33, for all the children of Lewi knew that Matzarayim had spoken all these words with deceit to Yashraal. Therefore, the children of Lewi refrained from approaching the work with their brothers. Now you might think, but how come Lewi didn't tell them anything? You know our people. If you try to tell our people that what is glistening might not necessarily be gold, they'll tell you, shove off. We have killed our own prophets that tried to lead us in the straight and narrow path. I can imagine the conversation that Lewi had with his brothers. One tribe against 11, you know that's not going to work. And if you really, really want to imagine it, look at what happened when they were in the wilderness and 12 princes from their tribes went into the promised land, and they searched it out for 40 days, and they came back with a lot of proof that this land is bountiful. 2 men had to carry a bunch of grapes, the pomegranates and all the different fruits, and the 12 men said, yeah, the land is wonderful, it's beautiful, it's built up, and the crops are magnificent, everything is wonderful in the land. But then the 10 was separated from the 2. The 10 said, we can't take that land because we are like grasshoppers against the giants. And the 2 said, but hello, the Most High said we can take them, and if he said so, then we can. And what did the 10 do? They went against the 2 and said, no, we're not listening to you. We're not listening to you. Anyways, That's the idea. The idea that you have to realize that our people, if they are not unanimous in their going to do something together, and if there's a division where one believes yes and the other believes no, trust me, whatever the multitude believes, they're going to go with that. Lawai was only one tribe. They knew, and they would have warned their brethren, but they would not listen. That's a trend. That's how our people are. That's how they were, and still how they are. They don't want to listen. So they saw wealth. Matsarayam offered them money, wages to help them build these structures. And they saw wealth and riches. Isn't that the same thing that we're experiencing today? Why many of our people are still under the Babylonian system? Because of wealth, because of riches, because of money, mammon. Don't want to give that up. You want me to trust the Most High to provide for me without money? How's that even possible? We need money to live. And yet the wicked people of this world is slowly removing money from this world. Now everything is going to be ones and zeros. And if you don't listen to them and submit to them, it's going to be all zeros for you. So what are you going to do then? When you go to your account and there's nothing in there because they took it away because you were disobedient to them. You would not submit to their wishes. What are you going to do then? Everything is becoming digital. There's not there in the next little while you will not have physical money. What are you going to do? Then you have that cashless system, and then you're going to have to be a particular kind of citizen. And if you don't want to obey them, because of course if you obey them, you got to go against the Most High. And when you go against the Most High, then He's going to finish with you. Because everything that you need to know about what's going to happen has already been spoken about by so many prophets and Hamashiach himself and his apostles. So there should be no doubt in your mind about what this is all about. But if your mind and your heart is after mammon, you're going to surrender yourself to these people and submit to their demands, which will cause you to go against the Most High. And who knows if from that point onward, if you will be able to reclaim your inheritance, if you will be able to repent. Because the Most High, He is and will be very soon, draw a line in the sand. Who is for me, come over on this side. But if you try to find excuses why you need to hang on and submit to the system, the wicked system of this world, you're going to find yourself in some very deep, muddy waters that will pull you under. And you will perish. Verse 34. Matsarayam did not direct their attention to make the children of Lawai work afterwards. since they had not been with their brothers at the beginning. Therefore, Matzarayam left them alone. So they were not working. They were not being persecuted because they obeyed the Most High. They didn't go after Mammon. And it was a good thing too, because they were going to be the priesthood. Book of Jubilees, Yahawah, chapter 30, verse 17 to 18. For this reason, I commanded you, saying, give this testimony to Yashrael. See how the Shechemites and their sons fared. See how they were delivered into the hands of the two sons of Yawachanan, and they killed them under torture. And for those who have not read this story before, it is when this prince of the Shechemites raped their sister Dinah, and they were furious. He humbled her, and then he had the nerve to ask for her hand in marriage after the fact. So what these two sons did, it was Levi and Simeon. Levi and Simeon. All 12 brothers said, along with their father Yaakov, telling when the princes came and his little entourage, what can I do to have her as my wife? And they said, unless you're circumcised, you can't have her. And not you alone, but all the males in your city must be circumcised. And I have not read this story in a while, so forgive me if I'm wrong, if Yaakov was there or was not. But the whole story is that they were told, the men of the Shechemites were told to be circumcised, and they went and circumcised themselves. And when a man is circumcised, especially as an adult, the pain, the discomfort, he is weakened. Right? So these men, after they were circumcised, they were in a weak state. They were in a weak condition. And then the two sons of Yaakov, they didn't even tell the other brothers. They went in and they slaughtered them. All the men in this city. Even the prince that humbled their sister. He raped her. That cannot be. You cannot touch the father's children. We're not your slaves. We were made slaves by the Most High, but you cannot make us slaves unless the Most High has given us over. And at that time, Yaakov was alive, and he was raising his sons to the best of his ability. And they weren't always, listening, but they came around afterwards. They had some issues. But these two brothers, went in and slaughtered all the men, including the prince that humbled their sister. All right? So that's where this is taken from. See how they were delivered into the hands of the two sons of Yaakov, and they killed them under torture. They were tortured because they were circumcised. They were hurting. Couldn't think about anything else but there. It was counted to them for righteousness. The Father, He exalted them. And it's written down to them for righteousness because they did the correct thing. Although Yawachanan, when he found out what they did, he was scared. He said, look, what have you guys done to me? You're going to bring me down to my grave with gray hairs? Now we got to get out of this city before these people come after us. And there were no men left. He said, what about the other people around that heard about what you guys have done? They're going to come after us. So he had to get out of there. He wanted to get out of there. But Yawachanan, he wasn't really thinking, was he? But the children of the 12 sons, they were powerful. The nations around them were afraid of them. Because when they set out to do something, they'd do it. And the Most High would go before them, and not one of them would be hurt. They were mighty men. The offspring of Lewi were chosen for the priesthood and to be Lewi, to be Levi. They were chosen, all right, that they might minister before Yahawah as we do continually. Lewi and his sons will be blessed forever, for he was zealous to execute righteousness and judgment and vengeance on all those who arose against Yashrael. Listen, even when they were in the wilderness, and these ones, the men in the tribes went and took wives from another tribe, and they were warned not to, who rose up? There was this one man that came forth with his heathen wife, like, la, 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 la. What are you going to do to me, Masha? And Phineas rose up and went into their tent and drove a javelin but into him and his wife. How about the time when Masha was taking too long to come down from the mountain, and they built a calf, a golden calf? And what did Masha say? Who is on my side? Come over. And all the tribe of Lewi came over. And what did Masha say? Gird up yourselves with your swords and go in and out of the tents and slaughter your brethren, the ones that contributed to the making of this idol. Lewi has always stood for righteousness. And they will stand again for righteousness. Where they are right now and who they are specifically in us, the Most High will have to indicate who they are. But right now, He does not say. He will not say. We know the majority of the people that have been awakened were Yahawah, Judah. Okay, we see that the tribe of Lewi was chosen to be the priesthood way before they were a tribe and living in Goshen. Even when they were still in the loins of Abraham, they were chosen. This now may seem like a conflict of sorts in what Yahawah was saying about the firstborn males and now Lewi. But that is not so. You can't think that way. That's what I'm saying. These are spiritual things that you cannot understand with a natural mind. You cannot perceive and understand with a natural mind the ways of the Most High, His purposes and His plans, and what He speaks. You see, the way before Lewi was born, he was chosen to be the progenitor of the tribe of Lewi, to become the priesthood before Yahawah. This was prophesied and it was fulfilled when the children of Yashrael left Matzorayim in their exodus into the wilderness, and also when they entered into their land called Yashrael. That was fulfilled. The redeeming of the firstborn males from all the tribes is a prophecy yet to be fulfilled. Yet to be fulfilled. So there's no confusion, there's no conflict, there's no shift. The Most High planned from the beginning that these firstborn males were going to be a future generation, but He always speaks His word way before He's going to perform it, so that when we look back and we see that, hey, the Most High said this way before it actually happened, now you can start to believe Him even more. Believe Him even more than you were believing before. It brings more, not proof, but it helps you, and it helps to build your faith in Him. That if He can speak this thing so far, so long ago, and now it's coming to pass, like, hey, He truly is Elohim. He truly is Yahawah. Remember, when you read through the Gospels and various things that Yahawashi did, the writer of that book would recall the prophecies that were spoken either through Yasha'oyah, which is Isaiah, or Jeremiah, all right, or one of the other prophets. They will recall to show you that Hamashiach just fulfilled this prophecy. And it's the same thing when Yahawah speaks a thing from the very beginning, and now He's bringing it to pass in this generation. We have to see that it is a prophecy about to be fulfilled, or a prophecy that has been fulfilled. So now, knowing this, we can look ahead to see where this prophecy of the firstborn males, a future priesthood, because there are to be, like Lewi, a priesthood, will come to pass. And this is where the 3 festivals will help identify who these firstborn males will be. They are not just regular people like you and I. They're going to be extraordinary people. But how do they become extraordinary? They are born that way. Because the firstborn males of the 12 tribes from the Exodus did not meet the requirements for the priesthood, they were redeemed for a specified amount of shekels to be paid to the priest, Lewi. This was a temporary repayment because Yahawah knew in His infinite wisdom that there will arise a future generation of firstborn males who will fit the requirements perfectly to be the ones to be redeemed to Him. You see, the generation that came out of Goshen was rebellious and stiff-necked. Yahawah has been waiting on a generation of His righteous remnant who will be the parents of these firstborn males, and here is why. So let me read that part again. That's why I said in the first slide, these firstborn males that will be His priesthood, the 144,000 are not born yet. They cannot be. Because as it is right now, anyone who is born will be born in sin. But these 144,000, when they are born, they will be born without sin, just like Hamashiach. Hamashiach will be their high priest. They will be the priesthood. And just as he was, they will be. They are a reflection of who he is. They will have all of his power. All these things I covered in the first lesson. Yahawah has been waiting on a generation of his righteous remnant. Righteous remnant from the southern kingdom, the righteous remnant from the northern kingdom, who will be the parents of the firstborn males. And here's why. And now, let me say this. If you are a grandma, you do not fit to be a parent of the firstborn male. Firstborn male meaning the first to come out of the womb. If you have already had children, that's not going to happen. You will not be the parent of the 144, one of the 144,000. If you've had children before, you will not be the parent of the 144,000. It has to be a people that have never had children before. Doesn't matter your age. No, it does not. Well, obviously, you have to be within a matured age, not a little baby or a child or a 10-year-old, nothing like that. I'm talking about the age to be married to one man. Both of you have never had children before. Can't be a man that was married and divorced and she's passed away and whatever the case may be. And now, no, that's not going to happen in the kingdom. That will not be permitted. You see, he's bringing back righteousness. If a man or a woman, they were married and their spouse died, oh yeah, you as long as you do his will, you walk in his path, you will come. He will bring you in. As long as you're obedient to him. If you've never had children, you can marry again and have children. And your firstborn male can be accepted as the 144,000. That's why the angel had to come down to seal. Right? The angel had to come down to seal. And we'll look at that in the next lesson. Because not all firstborn males will be accepted. There will be some that have had children or had a child and the child died and, the wife died or whatever the case may be. Whatever condition that is permitted by the Father to allow you into his kingdom. Right? The whole idea is that the parents have got to be the people, men and women, who have not had children before. All right? So let's see why. I know there are always exceptions to the rule where you make a mistake and the Father, in his mercy, will forgive you and say, yeah, but the consequence of your action will still carry on. He just will not accept your firstborn, if it's a male, especially. Because these firstborn male must come from a people, a husband and a wife, that have set themselves apart even before they came into the kingdom. You see, there are some of us that are living right now and thinking how hard this life is because you want to live as a righteous child of the Most High. There are a lot of things you turn away, and a lot of people that have turned away from you, even family members turned away from you, friends turned away from you. They think you're cuckoo because you believe in the Most High and you want to follow and walk in His ways. Oh, you're cuckoo. You're fighting against people that were supposed to be your friends. And when I say fighting, I'm not talking about even having verbal, strong discussion. You've gone beyond that. But there's a spiritual warfare that's been set up against you because these people come and they say things against you to make you feel like you've been ostracized and you've been put out to pasture. Don't worry about it. You feel like you're like nothing. They treat you like you're nothing because you're not going after the mammon in this world and you don't have status. They say, oh, they're nothing. They're nothing. You hear about people that went to school with you, colleges, university, what have you. They have risen up and they have their business and their degrees and all these different things, and they have the respect of their friends and family, and now you're like this dried up potato, right? And they treat you as such, When you see a dried up potato, you don't even look at it, right? And you feel like a nothing. And the only reason why you carry on is because the Spirit of the Most High, praises to the Most High that He has sent His Spirit, our comforter. He comforts us. And He said, it's okay, my daughter. It's okay, my son. Let it be so for now, because great will be your reward that I have waiting for you. Right? Don't worry about what all the other people are saying and doing. You are on this path. It feels like you're alone, but you're not really alone. There are many of us that are out there, but right now, because he wants to focus on us individually, because He has a purpose for us. I just read it to you. If you are selected to be the parent of the 144,000, you will be alone for now until He regathers. These are my brethren? Wow! Now is not the time to regather us or to bring us